Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something I know so many of you are chasing, that ultimate aesthetic goal, the V-taper. We're going to break down the actual science of unlocking a noticeably wider frame and doing it fast. You know, if you've ever felt like your upper body is just kind of lacking that broad, commanding structure, or maybe you're grinding away at the gym for hours, but your frame just isn't physically widening, well, you are exactly where you need to be. Let's get right into it.
So, I want you to just visualize something for a second. Picture two different physiques right next to each other. Guy on the left, totally average shoulders. Guy on the right, this broad, sweeping, super powerful V-taper frame. If I asked you, hey, which of these looks more powerful, more commanding, and let's be real, more aesthetically pleasing, almost everyone is going to point straight to that second guy. It's just human nature, right? We're naturally drawn to that broad structure. But think about how many guys literally spend agonizing hours in the gym pressing dumbbells until their arms fall off, only to end up looking exactly like the guy on the left. There's a massive misconception here about how to actually build that width.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the real secret to making that jump from average shoulders to a massive V-taper frame, it's not just packing on more muscle. Muscle's awesome, obviously, but it can only take you so far if your actual skeletal base is narrow. The real secret we're talking about here is your bone structure. This is the literal framework that your muscles are hanging on. It's kind of like architecture. If you widen the foundation, the whole house is going to look a lot bigger.
And specifically, we need to talk about your clavicles. You probably just know them as your collarbones. These are the absolute hidden foundation of a wide upper body. They dictate exactly how far out your shoulders sit from your neck. And here's a wild fact for you. Your clavicles are actually the only horizontal long bones in your entire body. Now, I know what you're thinking. Conventional gym bro wisdom says bone structure is purely genetic, right? Like you get what you get. But here is the absolute best part, and really the whole point of our explainer today. You can actually train them. You can physically widen your collarbones. Yes, seriously.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the biological mechanism that makes all of this possible. It's a foundational scientific principle called Wolff's Law. Basically, it states that your bones adapt, remodel, and actually strengthen under mechanical stress. Just like how you lift weights, your muscles get micro tears and they rebuild larger, well, your bones do a very similar thing when they respond to a consistent, targeted load. So when we apply the right kind of stress to those clavicles, your body's natural response is to remodel the bone to handle that stress better. Over time, that physically widens your frame. It's literally a biological cheat code.
Right, so how do we actually pull the trigger on this remodeling process? We are going to follow a super simple 4-step protocol. Step 1, fixing your daily habits. Step 2, the dead hang. Step 3, the Reeves deadlift. And finally, Step 4, the essential nutrition support to fuel the whole shebang. Let's kick things off with your daily habits.
Look, you absolutely cannot build a wider frame if you are actively working against your own body for 8 hours every single night. If you're a side sleeper, you're putting this uneven, compressing stress on just one side of your clavicles. I mean, think about it. That is the weight of your entire torso pressing down on one small horizontal bone for thousands of hours every year. Over time, that habit literally stunts your growth and keeps your shoulders permanently rolled inward. We've got to switch to back sleeping. When you sleep flat on your back, it keeps your posture totally aligned, opens up your chest, and naturally pulls those shoulders back. It creates this very gentle, natural tension on your collarbones all night long that actively encourages them to lengthen. Once you've got your sleep dialed in, we move to the active stuff. Step 2 is ridiculously simple but incredibly effective. The dead hang. You literally just grab a pull-up bar and hang. That's it. But what's happening internally is amazing. The active biomechanics are doing serious work here, and gravity is basically doing all the heavy lifting for you. As you just hang there, your spine decompresses and your shoulders get physically pulled downward and outward. It puts this constant, gentle stretch right across those collarbones. Honestly, the next time you walk past a pull-up bar, don't just look at it as a static piece of metal. It is literally a tool for skeletal remodeling.
Which brings us right back to our core science. I want to highlight this quote from our source material real quick. Consistent stress equals adaptation, and over time, this naturally builds a wider frame. That right there, that is Wolff's Law in action. By hanging consistently, you are providing that specific stress. Your body feels that downward and outward pull, it remodels the bone to handle it, and slowly but surely, your skeletal structure widens to accommodate that load.
Now for step 3, if the dead hang is the stretch, the Reeves deadlift is the active load. This is a legendary move inspired by the iconic classic bodybuilder Steve Reeves. Fun little aside here,
Reeves was actually cast to play Hercules in the old movies specifically because his clavicle width was just so visually staggering. So here's how you do his signature lift. Instead of holding the barbell normally, you take this incredibly wide grip. You actually grip the weighted plates themselves on the outside. Then, as you lift the weight and shrug right at the very top of the movement, your scapula forcefully pulls back and forth. This places intense but totally safe and controlled pressure directly onto your clavicles. It forces that exact biological adaptation we've been talking about. But hey, here is the catch. You can hang from a bar and do Reeves deadlifts until you're blue in the face, but it means absolutely nothing without the right fuel. So, the crucial point is this. You're not just training muscles here, guys. You are literally trying to grow bone. And bones require very specific raw materials. You need calcium to build up that bone density, so think dairy, tons of leafy greens, and you desperately need collagen for the actual remodeling process of the bone tissue itself. You've got to heavily incorporate collagen-rich foods, like a good bone broth, into your daily routine so your body actually has the bricks and mortar it needs to widen that frame.
Okay, let's speed things up for a second because I need to give you a really direct warning here. If you want real results, you have to avoid these 3 massive mistakes. Number 1, hunching your posture. Seriously, rounded shoulders compress your clavicles. Sit up straight. Number 2, overloading the weight way too fast on those Reeves deadlifts. Technique always comes first, weight comes second. Going too heavy just ruins the tension. And number 3, chasing quick shortcuts. Listen, bone growth is not some overnight quick fix. It's a real physiological process, and it takes time. So, if it's not an overnight hack, how long are we actually talking here? Well, if you lock in the back sleeping, crush the dead hangs, execute the Reeves deadlifts, and fuel up with that bone-building nutrition, you are going to start seeing a noticeably wider, more confident frame in exactly 1 month. Yep, 30 days of absolute consistency to literally level up your biological hardware. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how to pull it all together. Here is your ultimate 7-day action plan, your weekly blueprint. Day 1, start with dead hangs, 3 sets of 30 to 60 seconds. Day 2, hit the Reeves deadlift for 3 sets of 6 to 8 reps. Day 3, take an active rest day or just do some light cardio. Day 4, right back to the dead hangs, pushing for 3 sets of your absolute maximum hold time. Day 5, Reeves deadlifts again, but this time drop to a moderate weight so you can really focus on that deep stretch. Day 6 is all about posture. Stretch out your chest and strengthen your upper back. And finally, Day 7 is full recovery. Prioritize deep sleep and clean nutrition. You stick with this exact routine week after week, and I promise, you won't just look wider, you're going to feel incredibly stable and strong. So, you put in the 30 days, you force that adaptation through Wolff's Law, you've actively widened your collarbones and built that commanding, powerful upper body frame. But what if I told you there is one single muscle that almost everyone completely ignores? A muscle that, if you train it properly alongside this new wider structure of yours, takes your aesthetic from just good to absolutely jaw-dropping. What is this mysterious, powerful muscle, and why is it the ultimate missing link to your perfect physique? Well, you'll just have to join us in the next explainer to find out. Thanks so much for learning with us today.